Let's bring in Nick Wright, co-host First Things First. First of all, J-Mac, anything bother you much before I get to Nick?
Yeah, well, the Bengals have the sixth best Super Bowl odds, and they're not in your top 10.
Okay.
And the Cowboys have the eighth best Super Bowl
I'm
odds.
done with Dallas. Okay, Nick, he said Bengals count. Well, give me something that bothered you.
All right, well, after all last year, your herd hierarchy was like a college student who aced everything until the final and then just bombed it because it was so good consistently, like 10 through 3, pardon me. And then your refusal to put the Chiefs at the top ruined it. Now you've gone the other way, where the top is great. You aced the final, but I don't even know if you passed the class because every other assignment was a miss. So I agree with J-Mac that Cincinnati's got to be on there. Also, what is the argument for having Philadelphia, forget 5, ahead of Dallas? I understand Dallas had a terrible 3-hour afternoon in January. The Eagles had a terrible 2-month stretch and lost their offensive leader and defensive leader, and their solution to having one of the 3 worst defenses in the entire league last year was adding a running back. So I don't understand the love for Philadelphia, and I would say I don't understand the love for Minnesota, because what you're telling me is you think Caleb Williams and the Bears are going to finish last in the NFC North. I totally disagree with that, but that's fine. I didn't get the Minnesota thing, and then I was reminded that Minnesota signed one of your first true loves in Sam Darnold. And so, of course, you're going to be the only person in America that is buying the Vikings right now. But listen, at least you got the Chiefs right at the top for the first time in, a summer solstice.
Well, hopefully the professor takes into consideration that I was an improving student and I was really good on my final, even though I butchered the rest of the curriculum. So, it was interesting. I said this, you got to be fair. And I have always questioned Chicago Bears' ability to get offense right. I don't question defense. That's their culture, like Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's missed on a billion quarterbacks. They got Bradshaw and Big Ben. They're always good defensively. But I looked at the Bears, and Ryan Poles, the Claypool, and Velus Jones draft picks, I was kind of out on him. I'm like, this isn't working.
Yeah.
But I have new information. Shane Waldron, DeAndre Swift, Keenan Allen, Gerald Everett. By the way, Poles is a former offensive lineman, and I think he's got both tackles right. And my take earlier today was new information, new opinion. This offense, if Caleb doesn't work, this is on Caleb. This is a really nice this is the best set of offensive pieces the Chicago Bears have had that I can remember. I think more talented potentially than the Jay Cutler years. So my opinion on the Bears is this is a pretty good this is better than C.J. Stroud had at Houston. It's much better than Bryce Young had, right?
I agree with everything you're saying. So what people have to remind themselves is the Bears are getting to draft Caleb Williams number 1 because the Panthers were terrible, not the Bears were terrible. The Bears were bad, but not awful. They won 7 games. So this is why I'm so high on the Bears. Even if you don't think Caleb, and I think you probably do think Caleb is a generational prospect.
I do.
But as I do. But if the audience thinks he's just your average number 1 overall pick, those guys are worth about 3 wins as a rookie. Well, that's usually how teams go from 2-14 or 2-15 to 5 or 6 wins. He's walking into a 7-win team.
Yeah.
So if he's worth your traditional 2 or 3 wins, you're a playoff team. And what people also have to keep in mind is the Bears are going to draft Caleb 1, and then at 9, they are either going to take Rome Odunze, Brock Bowers, the second best tackle in the class, or the best or second best defensive player of any position in the class. And so they are going to add an immediate impact starter along with Caleb. So I really like where the Bears are, and I've never really known how to weigh the fact that the Chicago Bears didn't develop quarterbacks in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s against where they are right now. It always feels weird to me, like things that happened well before Caleb Williams was born is a reason he shouldn't want to go to that franchise.
Yeah, I think we both agree this is a much better situation for Caleb than it was for Justin Fields 3 years ago. And Caleb, to me, is a much better quarterback prospect than Justin Fields. So, and there's no great defense in that division, to be honest. You're not going into the AFC North. Detroit, Green Bay, and Minnesota are not unique or special defenses. You're not going up against a wall every Sunday.
If I can just add to that 2 quick points. One is, and you guys can maybe pull it up later in the show, we obviously don't know the Bears' schedule, but we know their opponents. We don't know the order, but we know who they're playing.
Right.
If you go through it, Colin, you're going to count 10 games against defenses that you believe are bad or mediocre, and 2 games all year against excellent defenses, the Niners and the Patriots, and that's it. You then add to it, people are saying, oh, Caleb's not going to be able to do what C.J. Stroud did. Well, I don't know if he will or he won't, but he won't have to. C.J. had to take a 3-win team to the playoffs. C.J. had to add half a dozen wins. Caleb needs to add 3 wins for the Bears to be firmly a playoff team in the NFC, and I fully expect him to do it, especially if he gets 2 games against Sam Darnold and those Vikings. Yeah. My goodness, start off 2-0, my guy.
I know. Maybe it's the coach, a little Sam Darnold, I admit.
Yeah.
So I saw a story. I thought it was so weird. Todd Haley, former Kansas City guy, right, comes out and says, "Man,
my old buddy.
Yeah, man, if I was a defensive coordinator, I wouldn't want to face this combo of Russell Wilson, Justin Fields." And my take is, you won't have to, because Russell is the number 1 quarterback, and unless he goes on a 3-game skid, Justin's not playing much. I would not have picked this if I was Justin Fields if I had multiple options, which one reporter claims is true. I have no idea to think he's not being honest. I don't think this job is up for grabs. I think it's Russell Wilson's, and he's got a powerful agent, a pedigree, 2 Super Bowls, endorsements. What do you make of the Justin Fields landing in Pittsburgh, platooning potentially with Russell Wilson?
Well, with respect to my old drinking buddy, Todd Haley, who I like and miss, and Todd, if you're watching, give me a call. It's been too long. This is a bad take by Todd. That's fine. He's had some hits and misses. I don't think it's going to be a platoon. But I also think what you're saying is wrong as well. This is a great spot for Justin Fields because Russell Wilson is not good anymore. I don't know why folks still they're like, man, somebody put out a highlight package of Russell Wilson. They're like, this is what the Steelers are getting. And the second clip in the highlight, you know who missed a tackle on Russell Wilson? Gerard Mayo, who's now the coach of the Patriots. Yes, once upon a time, Russell was dynamic. So I expect Russell to be the week 1 starter, and I expect Justin to be the week 7 or 8 starter and the starter the rest of the way. Wow. And that is not so much because I think Justin is a great player. I think he does have a lot of potential, and we'll see if he can finally harness it on a consistent basis. But I know what Russell Wilson is right now, and I think Russell Wilson is a quarterback who will be benched by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wow. That's a good take. I like that. All right, finally.
It's obvious.
Michael Jordan didn't make every teammate better. Magic Johnson did. And that's indisputable. There are players, and I think LeBron falls into that. And that's not to say that Michael's not great. But there are players. Kobe Bryant didn't make every teammate better. He made Kobe better. And
Isaiah Thomas did.
Right. And so one of the things that LeBron is such a profound scorer that you forget that he's made quirky, erratic, inconsistent guards excellent. Kyrie Irving, before he got there, a lot of people thought nobody liked him and he was a bust. He couldn't stay healthy. He became a star in the league. J.R. Smith got benched by the Knicks, went to Cleveland 4 good years. Austin Reeves is undrafted. D'Angelo Russell has always been gifted, but somebody that's considered as a former GM told me, just kind of a squirrely guy. You don't know what you're getting night to night.
Enigmatic, sure.
So he gets benched in December. And obviously LeBron was frustrated with him. Since he's reemerged as a starter, 22-7, a legitimate number 3. We know they already match up size-wise with Denver. Austin Reeves now can be pushed to the 4, which is what he truly is. He's a good 4 on a conference championship team. And I said, LeBron doesn't get credit for this. because we glom on to, he joined D Wade. No, he saved Kyrie. He saved JR. He's made Austin Reeves in Los Angeles beloved. And I watched D'Lo, and I think people had given up on D'Lo in the league. People in Minnesota and people get Warriors.
So I've got something on this that I think you'll like, Colin. And listen, I still have my concerns about D'Lo in the playoffs because his career in the playoffs is not great. His defense and his offense takes a hit. But LeBron, I think being a teammate of LeBron James is the best thing for everyone on the team except for the third best player. And here's what I mean. So if you look at LeBron's stops, the people will be like, Kevin Love was minimized. Chris Bosh was minimized. And it's because if LeBron is handling your offense, here is how it will work. He will make sure the second best guy, whether it's Kyrie, D Wade, or in this case Anthony Davis, gets their opportunities. And then do you know who the third best guy on every LeBron James team is every time? The open man or the hot hand. And that's why Kyle Korver or JR or Mike Miller or whomever can have career years or reemerge as big-time players. And so there is a hierarchy that exists within most teams that does not exist within LeBron teams, which is we know who the best guy is, we know who the second best guy is. And then that third guy can change on a night-to-night, week-to-week, series-to-series basis. And so it's not great if you're an established all-star that's the third best player on a LeBron team. Your numbers are going to go down. But that's because guys 4 through 9 might be that third best guy on any given night.
Yeah.
And so if you look back at the 2020 Lakers, they had LeBron, AD, and then a bunch of guys who any given night could be that player. Last year in the playoffs, you had LeBron, AD, then it's like, my God, it's Lonnie Walker tonight.
Yeah.
It's Rui tonight. It's Austin Reeves tonight. It rotated. And right now, D'Lo is taking advantage of that. I don't think it means it's D'Lo from this moment forward, but I think that's what it is. Look, there is not a you're the third best player, so you have to get the third most looks. That's never been how LeBron operates, and I think that it maybe hurt Bosh and Love a bit, but everyone else has benefited from it.
That was thoughtful. You put some time into that. Probably stronger than my Philadelphia at 5 herd hierarchy.
Come on. Colin, listen, man, you got a lot going on. I understand. But right after you debut a take, if your first justification of it is, I don't know what to do with this team, then the answer probably is not what you did with them. That's the devil on your shoulder saying this ain't the right place for Philadelphia at 5. But that's all right.
Good seeing you, buddy. Nick Wright.